let's talk about something that's, well, it's complicated. Why do affairs happen? Today, we're going to get into it, exploring that huge gap between the romance we dream of and the reality of being with someone long term. And we'll use a really powerful analogy to make sense of the reasons and, more importantly, the real costs.
You know the saying, right? We've all heard it in the movies. The heart is crazy. It's this romantic idea of a wild, unstoppable force that's supposed to sweep you off your feet and promise this lifetime of nonstop passion. But what happens when those movie dreams smash right into real life? That's where the trouble starts to brew, right? In that gap between the perfect romance we see on screen and the actual day-to-day truth of a marriage, which is messy and beautiful, but also sometimes really hard.
I mean, just look at this comparison. It really breaks it down, doesn't it? On one side, you've got this fantasy of endless passion and perfect partners. And on the other side, the real deal. Compromise, routines, and a whole lot of pressure and responsibility. We walk into marriage with all these big dreams, but reality? Well, reality means making adjustments.
So when that gap between what you expected and what you have becomes a constant source of stress, what happens then? This is where people can start looking outside their marriage for whatever it is they feel they're missing.
And when you look at why this happens, it's rarely just one big thing. It's usually a slow burn. It could be feeling completely misunderstood or just getting crushed by the monotony of the daily grind. And then suddenly, a new connection pops up, maybe someone at work or even just an unexpected spark on social media. And they seem to offer something different.
So people start searching, and they might find something that feels, for a moment, like an answer. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. That feeling of fulfillment, it's almost always just an illusion, a temporary fix, a false sense of peace.
Okay, so to really get this, there's this fantastic analogy. Let's start with dal roti. In this metaphor, your partner, your spouse, is the dal roti. They are the stable, reliable, essential foundation of your life. The everyday nourishment you absolutely need to survive and to thrive.
And on the flip side, you have the affair. And that's the biryani or the pizza. It's exciting, right? It's a novelty, a special treat that feels amazing for a little while. But let's be real, you can't live on it. It's not a sustainable, healthy diet for your life.
And here's the really crucial part to understand. This new connection, this biryani, it's often transactional. The other person is there for what they can get from you. The moment you can't provide that, whether it's attention, fun, or something else, poof, they're likely to disappear.
And the personal cost? Wow, it's immense. This timeline really shows how devastating it can be. It starts with guilt, which then forces you to build a life on lies. And living a lie just shatters your peace of mind. And in the absolute worst-case scenarios, it can even lead to things like blackmail and total exposure. And all of this brings us right back to the beginning, doesn't it? It all comes back to recognizing the true, irreplaceable value of the dal roti you have waiting for you at home. I mean, this quote just says it all, right? It's not saying that a little excitement is bad, but it makes a really powerful point. A treat is a treat, but a foundation, that's what you build your entire life on.
Because think about it. These are the things the biryani can never, ever give you. That deep, real security, unconditional loyalty, the shared joy with your kids and your family, a whole history together. That's an authentic connection, and you just can't put a price on that.
So what's the solution? If the problem is boredom or feeling like you're in a rut, the answer isn't to just go find a new restaurant. It's about learning how to cook new and exciting recipes right there in your own kitchen. That's the real path forward.
And there are some really clear, practical ways to do this. You have to talk to each other, really talk, about what you both need and want. Rediscover what makes each other tick. And you absolutely have to experiment together. You know, just like you can take the same dough and make roti or puri or paratha, you can bring so much variety into your relationship just by trying new things.
And you know what happens when you do that? When you actively, intentionally put that energy and spice back into your own relationship, the whole reason for looking somewhere else, it just kind of vanishes. The need just isn't there anymore.
So we're left with a really important question to ask ourselves, a question that turns the focus inward. Instead of always searching for a completely new dish, maybe, just maybe, the real adventure is in discovering all the wonderful things you can still create with the one you already have.